The Last of Us Episode 2 aired last night, and I hope y'all watched it because it was so good. But beware, this review isn't spoiler-free for the show or the game. I want these videos to be a place where I can discuss my thoughts and y'all can discuss yours in the comments. Y'all ready? Let's go. I'm still not a fan of the opening, and I think these kinds of openings are going to be at the beginning of every episode for framing purposes. But I didn't hate this one quite as much. I did like the Cordyceps expert and the scene where she examines the body. I get that we're seeing an expanded world beyond what the game showed us, but I was happy with Ellie and Joel's limited perspective because it makes the world more chilling and real. We see Ellie forming a bond with Tess, who teaches her that the fungus communicates in a network, that you can disturb the fungus in one location and it acts as a single organism waking infected from miles away. We see a mass of infected piled together, seemingly docile. The world building continues to be fantastic. Much like in the game, the world is beautifully set out with reminders of the fungal threat clinging to each building. We get a little time between Ellie and Joel, but it's still clear that Joel thinks of Ellie as no more than cargo. Even though we don't get much time with Tess, Anna Tove gives a fantastic and memorable performance. I have to say, I like her even more than Tess in the game. Both she and Joel are steeled by the world that they've lived in for 2 decades, but we can still see the trust that they have in each other. This makes the moment when Tess reveals that she's been bitten all the more tragic. The scene where Tess yells at Joel to see this through with Ellie shows that Tess has not given up hope, and she wants to be something positive in this world despite how it has to end for her. She stays behind to blow up the building with grenades and gasoline as a horde of infected barrel towards them. The infected's entrance into the building as Tess struggles with the lighter had me on edge. And that kiss of death? But the most exciting part of the episode is when I saw the first clicker. I got chills as soon as I heard that all too familiar sound. The physical effects were awesome. The team that worked on the clickers did a phenomenal job, and the movement from the actors was perfect. Besides the opening, the writers made some significant changes to the game's story. In the show, the spores are not the biggest enemy when it comes to risk of infection. It's the bite from an infected along with the tendrils. Also, the show adds that extra layer of infected connected. You can step on a patch of Cordyceps in one place and wake a dozen of infected who now know where you are. The focus on Fedra in the game has shifted to the Cordyceps in the show. For example, the soldier's presence has been removed, and Tess, Joel, and Ellie don't have to worry about avoiding their searchlights. Instead of fleeing from Fedra soldiers like they do in the game, Tess, Joel, and Ellie are faced with a horde of infected running towards the Capitol building. So Tess's death is entirely different, ending in a kiss of death and an explosion rather than gunfire. I don't usually like changes, but I think the communication network of the fungus is a good one and very accurate to the way that fungus works in real life. Plus, it adds an extra layer of threat. The focus on the infected threat rather than the human threat is more my taste as well. It led to a more chilling ending with Tess, and brings more horror into the show, which is something I mentioned in my review of episode 1. I'm so impressed with the handling of horror elements. The show is truly scary. What did y'all think of episode 2? I'm looking forward to episode 3, and I will be reviewing that episode next week. Thank y'all so much for watching, and if you liked the video, don't be afraid to subscribe. Bye y'all.